welcome to the scrapyard, where we put the guns down and the gloves up. Out here we go.
I'm Dad, fighting out of Gresham, Oregon. Shout out my affiliates, Creative Mushroom. Shout out my gym, Columbia River Jiu-Jitsu, which creating monsters out here. In the scrapyard this year, we're gonna take all the titles. Let's go. Dad, fighting out of Gresham, Oregon. Shout out my affiliates, Creative Mushroom. Shout out my gym, Columbia River Jiu-Jitsu, and Nate for getting me ready for this fight. This is scrapyard. Let's get it. Dad, fighting out of Gresham, Oregon. Shout out my team at Columbia River Jiu-Jitsu. Thanks for helping me get ready. Shout out my affiliates, Creative Mushrooms. This is a scrapyard. Let's get it. Dad, fighting out of Gresham, Oregon. Shout out my affiliates, Creative Mushrooms. Shout out Reptilian Top Team at Columbia River Jiu-Jitsu in Vancouver, Washington. Thanks for helping me get ready. Let's get it.
Decision.
Yeah! Woo! Straight back, you guys, straight back.
All you, bro.
Shout out Columbia River Jiu-Jitsu. Shout out my opponent. Shout out Nate. We're doing it. Come see us. We build monsters, baby. Let's go.
Here we are. Hey, welcome to F.A.W.B episode, I believe we're on episode 18.
Dang.
Episode 18? No, episode 18 or 19. I don't know. I'll have to check that out. Regardless, it's a very special episode because today we have with us Mathew Taylor.
Woo, woo.
What's up? AKA Dad. The Scrapyard 2024 Fighter of the Year. Big accomplishment. Well deserved. Yes, sir. I would also agree with that. And you know, I would say YouTube agrees with it as well, considering they did the voting. Yeah. So yeah, big time celebrity coming on to F.A.W.B. We're starting to grow, guys. For those of you that took notice, I don't have Buffalo Joe or Steven the Answer with me this week. Both of them are out. I believe Steven is in California on a holiday vacation, so shout out to him. Hey, Steven, miss you, buddy. And I believe Buffalo Joe is traveling the world, checking the coast and, you know, just doing the Ronin thing, just, you know, running around like buffaloes do and grazing here and there. So, yeah, they'll be back next week. We've actually, we're back after, I think this is 2 weeks. We took 2 weeks off. I had pneumonia, so I've been dying. Just came back. I think this is my first week back. After about 2.5 weeks off of dying. Yeah, no, it's been great. It's been fun. Let me tell you, it's, you know, when you take some time off from training due to an illness or an injury, it's tough to come back. You know, you're not the same as when you left. So I've been dealing with that, but it's been going well. And, you know, we're bouncing back stronger than ever. So looking forward to 2025. Every week we do like a weekly update and just kind of check in, see how things are going. So we're going to kick it off a little bit with Red Fox here and see how your week's going. How's your week going?
So far, so good. Yeah. Last week was Christmas. Took some time off for that. And spent time with the family and really just spending a lot of time with the new puppy.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to our new puppy.
Oh my goodness.
We got this little girl. Yeah, shout out to the pup. I know she's at home. She loves watching our show. Our little peanut butter pickle princess, that's her name.
That is her name.
She's a mastiff. Yeah. So we got us a little mastiff who likes to go around and Matthew's been over to our place, so he knows exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. She runs around and she's been hanging out with Zeus, and her and Zeus have been going crazy, man.
Yeah.
Love watching, you know, a full-grown red-nosed pit bull play and stuff with the little
with a tiny puppy.
So cute.
Oh my God.
So we've been enjoying that quite a bit. This last, she's been with us now 2 weeks, right?
I think 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks since the first, since like the 10th of December.
She's a big old girl. Yeah, next time you're over, you'll have to meet her, man. She's so cute.
Definitely.
But yeah, that's pretty much how's training been? Training been going well, right?
Yeah, after being away and coming back in cardio. Just getting that cardio back up.
Cardio is key.
Cardio is key, and keep that. We got to be consistent and
consistency. When the consistency drops off, then the cardio drops off.
For sure.
First thing that goes. Cardio.
Dying.
Well, how was you know, your Christmas and everything been?
I also took time off for Christmas. Stayed at home with the family. Did the Christmas thing, the dad thing. No problem.
100% the dad thing.
It was fun, but I hate missing training. I like being here all the time.
Yeah.
I could be here 5 days a week if I could.
Oh, I know it, man.
It feels weird to get
does.
off of a routine when you've been really solid on your routine and then to break it. It's kind of hard to step back into it, but it
Different
also
when you
feels
get back
good.
too. You're like way off from where.
Well,
you
yeah,
were.
Yeah.
some of that frustration comes in because it's a hit to your ego as well. You know, whether you want to admit it or not,
Yeah.
it's like, oh man, I was better a week or two ago, and now I'm gassed, and I'm doing the same thing I was doing. And you come back and you're like, oh, I'm not doing it as good. Like, what happened? All that work. And then
Yeah.
literally after a week or two, it's like, where's, it's a
man.
fight to get it back. But
Getting back into sparring on Friday, because we sparred on Friday, and I was just like, oh, the mistakes that I'm making. Jeez, I wasn't doing this like a week ago.
the one good thing about it, though, is it does come back a lot
Yeah.
faster than, before,
Yeah,
where you had to
definitely,
learn
yeah.
it now. Now it's just like getting re-familiar with it. So, give us a couple more weeks and we'll be back to where we were and back on the grind and getting better and better. Speaking of that, though, that's a great segue into kind of explaining on how we even came to meet each other, because it's not like you walked in here and signed up. We actually met over at the Street Beefs events, the Scrapyard events.
Shout out Street Beefs.
Yeah, shout out to the
Yeah.
Streetbeefs Scrapyard, man. It was Fire Chicken himself that messaged me and introduced us, and
same
got
thing.
this whole thing rolling. And it's been a crazy, 8 months ago now? 9 months ago,
8 months
right?
now. It's crazy.
It's
Was
since the end of
April?
it was
March?
the beginning of
April,
April.
March?
Yeah, it was April.
Yeah, it was like the end of March. Steve,
Yeah.
Fire Chicken was like, "What's up?"
Yeah.
I told him I wanted to get into a gym and start really training and putting in the work and getting better. And he said, "Nathan's over there in Vancouver. You should hit him up." And I did. And
Yeah, and that's
that next week I was in here.
That's it. Yeah, man. And that all comes, I think we were at the Scrapyard. I think we did one event.
March
we
was the
we were
first
talking to
one.
them and, explain, got to do some training and just by, happenstance,
Yeah.
it all ended up working out.
Yeah, it did.
And that's a big ups, like I said, to Fire Chicken for, getting this whole thing in motion. And it really
Yeah.
helped add to our gym and our competition team, because now I knew, like, okay, at the very least we have at least 2-3 solid competitors now that we
Yeah.
know that we can build off of.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
that's what we ended up doing, and now we're like 10-12 strong
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
in the
12.
program.
It's grown so much in what, 9 months. It's grown
100%.
massively.
And I think you're a big contributor to that. I mean, you're putting in the work, and we're getting that advertisement that we need when we go to these events. Your name holds weight. You have how many fights do you have with Scrapyard now? Like 16?
17.
17 fights.
That's
That's a lot.
When you came to us, you had 13. So
Yeah, it
yeah,
was,
and you did 4 under us. So
My first event ever was a 1-year anniversary, and now they just had their 4-year anniversary.
yeah,
So I've
Yeah.
been fighting there since that.
yeah, you're an
3
OG,
years.
like like you said,
They
a
were only going 1 year
Scrapyard
when I
born
went
and
out there.
raised.
Exactly.
Yeah. There you go. And now after 4 years, hitting that
4
Fighter
years.
of the Year, man.
I never even got nominated
Congratulations.
before or nothing. This year's my first nomination.
Yeah, this has actually been quite a year for you,
Yeah,
considering.
Yeah.
Let's we can talk about that a little bit. Prior to us meeting, you were 3-10.
Yeah, 3-10. I was on an
3 and
8-fight
10.
losing streak.
Man.
Losing streak.
It was it was a rough road. It was a rough
it
go.
was.
What kept you going back?
Well, I felt like I was better than I was showing that I was every time. I felt like every time I went back, I got better. So, and I'm
Strictly ego that kept me.
Exactly. I'm the trial by
Ego,
fighter
right?
guy. I feel like I'm only going to get better
No,
if
I
I
love
get in
it.
there
Yeah.
and take those beatings and fight that good competition. That's where I really get better. So
Paying those dues, man.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I just kept fighting no matter what. I'm like, eventually I'm going to get better. And I
Yeah.
realized, I don't know, after my 10th loss, that I was like, I need to really get in the
Maybe
gym.
I should probably join a gym. Maybe I need to readjust this. And that's sometimes it takes that kind of outside factor or helping hand to be like, hey man, like, you got the spirit, you got the heart for it. Let's get you some formal training and try to like align all this stuff so that you're not going out there and just, you know, taking a beating.
Exactly.
So you're going out there and you're utilizing that ability to take a beating and then transfer it over to actually give someone a beating.
Exactly.
And that's what we're seeing, you know, in the previous last 4 fights. You've been going out there and putting on a show, man.
Yeah, it's been fun.
And yeah, we're guys that are competing against you are they're in fights for sure. You're showing up and
you're gonna have to work.
And I think that you're getting a lot of good recognition from the scrapyard. A lot of the former competitors and current competitors that have seen you over the last 3 years, they're really acknowledging your improvement and the time and effort. And you know, we're testament to that as well. Like you're here 4 days, 5 days a week, and you're training and you're putting in the work outside the gym so that when you show up to training, we don't have to revisit and redo the same shit we talked about, you know, the previous training. It's like, okay, I give you some homework, you go home, you work on it, you drill that. When you show up, it's like, oh, okay, you've been working on it. Now we can add to it.
Exactly.
Which is also, you know, testament to how hard you've been working and the improvements you made.
Always working hard.
Hell yeah, man. And that's great. That's what we want for the program because it's been showing, you know, some of these younger guys too. Like some of these guys that are coming to us like, yeah, man, I've been there too. Where, you know, sometimes when guys, let me back up for a second. Sometimes when people come through the door, they have that misconception of what it is they feel they can do in a fight, right?
Yep, exactly.
And then they
100%.
come in and maybe it doesn't go quite as well as they thought. And that could be an ego hit for a lot of dudes.
Yep.
And you know, as anybody else, you always have that question after you get your butt kicked is whether or not I want to keep doing this.
Exactly.
Right? Maybe I
Exactly.
should just learn how to do some math or something.
Right.
You know? And so it takes something to want to come back after getting, you know, learning a lesson is what I like to call them.
It definitely does.
Yeah, and to get humbled and to come through and be like, okay, well, how do I do this? And then to continue to get your butt kicked and then have that understanding that there's actually a method behind this madness.
There
Like
definitely
we're really
is.
just trying to build you up. We're not trying to beat you down, but in the process of rebuilding you, we're gonna have to break you a little bit. Like you have to you have to expect that, and you yourself have to overcome those things.
Exactly.
You
It's
know?
got to be
Or
inside
at
of you,
least
I feel like.
be okay with it.
Yeah.
Just be okay
Trust
with
the process. Trust the
exactly.
process.
Trust that
Yeah.
process.
And like I said, you're a testament to the program, and trusting that process because we can now, thanks to Street Beefs and the internet, we can now review from where you started to where you are.
Exactly. You can see
You know,
from
you
fight one
can
to now.
You can see the progression.
Exactly.
And it's, I mean, from the compliments that we're getting and from our own sort of reviews on it, I mean, it's kind of night and day, man.
Night
you
and
know,
day, for sure,
night and
yeah.
day, and your confidence levels and how you feel about it when you're going into matches are somewhat night and day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that in itself changes the type of fighter that you are.
Definitely does. That confidence makes a huge difference in there. It just keeps you on your front foot. I feel like a lot more. I was always on my back foot because I wasn't confident in what I was doing. Now I know what I'm doing. I'm confident in the game plan. I trust the process, follow the process, and just keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, and it's been working, and we got some big things in store. You know, we got things coming up in 2025.
Exactly.
We plan to hit the ground running, and this whole 2024 year was just a foundational year for the gym, the competition team, held the podcast.
Exactly.
Everything that we got going on is still, like I said, within the first year of us doing it.
The infant stages of all of this.
That's it, and
Yeah.
we're seeing a lot of good progression. We're getting a lot of good notoriety, and guys are buying into the program, and it's great. It's great for us.
Yeah.
This is exactly what we set out to do. Was to find, like, when me and Red Fox talked about this prior to even bringing this out to anybody else. You know, we wanted to create a community of like-minded individuals and find people that shared a passion for what it is we share a passion for. Yeah. And so far like I said, we're on the building foundational stages of it, but I'm proud of the progression we've made and the direction we're going.
Had a hell of a year.
A hell of a year. Yes.
2024 has been awesome. Revolutionary.
Yeah.
Really.
100%. I think we've had 20 competitions in total. 18 of them have been at the scrapyard, and then 2 of them were at a BJJ tournament with Nick went and did that. Shout out to Nick, Super Saiyan Nick.
Good job.
Yeah, he went out there
Well
and
done.
he did his thing. And, we've won 16 out of 20 competitions
80%.
for the first year competition team. Not too bad,
Not too bad.
Not too bad. You're, what is it? What are you, 3-1 with us?
3-1,
Yeah. We're pretty much the same. Yeah. We're at the same now, man. You're going to take over here and start coaching. And I'm just going to
No way.
walk off into the sunset. You guys got this now. But yeah, it's been an amazing ride, man. And
exciting,
it's been a pleasure to have you here. It's been a pleasure to take the experiences you've had with the scrapyard too and build off of that, because regardless if you haven't had any prior formal training to these events, there's no amount of training that equivalates to like an actual like match or fight.
Exactly.
No.
Just the levels of intensity are higher. So you came to us with experience
Yep.
that some of these guys that we have in here that have had, like a year of formal training, but yet they've had no matches.
Exactly.
You came in with more experience than them because it's like, well, I know what it's like to, do this against somebody that's has intention like they're trying to hurt you.
Exactly.
You know what
While
I mean?
your
Like, I know what
adrenaline
it's-
is pumping.
yeah,
Whole
I know
different
what it's
ballgame when
like
it
to be
is.
in this
Yeah.
stuff. So that
Yeah.
right there kind of gives you a little leg up on
Exactly.
some people that aren't familiar what it's like to go in there and compete at with someone that's trying to hurt you.
Exactly.
And I encourage it for anybody that trains martial arts to go out there and do a match. Like I said, these matches aren't supposed to be to like feed your egos or make you
To test your skills.
Yeah,
it's
that's
to
all
test
cool.
where you're at.
and what you need to work on that's what it does. It gives you that ability to in a setting that's relatively safe.
Yep.
Right? Because there's a ref. It's one-on-one, usually against somebody within your same scope of like skill and weight.
Yep.
And that's about as safe as you can get when it comes to like
Oh, and there's
fisticuffs,
rules,
Yeah,
there's
rules.
boxing. You're not going to have kicks if
Your
it's a boxing
terrain's
match.
Exactly.
relatively even. Like if you get
Yeah.
dropped, you're dropped on turf or
Yeah.
whatever it is. If you're in a local tournament match, dropped on mats, not like on rocks or cement.
I
So
know.
get in there and go test it out. It's
should.
wonderful. Win,
Yeah.
lose or draw, it just helps you learn and
Yep.
gives you the experience. Speaking about experience, why don't you give us some of your experiences with the scrapyard? Let's say prior to us, like how'd you hear about it? What drew you to it? What made you decide you want to do some fighting?
I was always watching the regular Street Beefs, the OG yard. Shout out Scarface for starting
Shout
the whole
out,
thing and
yeah.
giving me that. But I was always watching that, and then one day I was scrolling through and Jay Gotham's video. Shout out Jay Gotham, RIP Jay Gotham. His video came on, and I don't know, it got me excited. It got me pumped up. I was like, I could go in there, I could fight, I could do that. And I wasn't doing anything. My life was kind of at a standstill. I had like no confidence, I was getting up there in age, and I was like, man, I got to do something that I get me excited about, something I love doing.
Yeah.
And I always liked fighting. I wrestled in high school, and I always watched MMA, and I studied the game, and I know a lot more than people think I know about it. BJJ and everything included. I study the game. I really love the fighting, the whole combat sports. I love it all. And I kind of I got up off my couch one day and said, I'm going to go do it. I drove 6 hours from Klamath Falls, where I come from, and had my first match against Billy the Beast. Shout out Billy the Beast. And he knocked my front tooth out. And
Thanks, Billy.
Yeah.
Billy boy.
That just got me more excited. I don't know what it is. I get in there and I get in a fight, and after it's over, I'm like, man, there's nothing better than that. That 6 minutes, 10 minutes, 24 minutes, however long you're fighting for. There's nothing to worry about but fighting. There's no worries. There's no problems. There's no wars.
Makes
there's
things
nothing.
simple.
It's
You know
just
what's
that.
hitting you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not
It's
just
only what's
life.
right in front of you.
Right in front
Yeah.
of you.
And
And in the moment. You are very much in the moment.
That's the most calming experience I've ever found. And
That's what it was for you, huh? That
Exactly, yeah.
addiction right there is
it's
just
that
trying
calm.
to find.
Like, calm in the fire, you know.
Puts you right in your body in the
Yep,
moment.
exactly.
You are right here.
Yep.
And we've we've touched on that too, is finding that peace in the chaos, kind of, and that's what
You're always saying that.
Yeah, you can get that as soon as you find that vision and you settle into the fray of the fight. You're like, oh yeah, this is there is techniques here.
Yep.
This is how you do that. That is what leverage feels like, what spacing feels like. Once you start to get an idea or an understanding of the nuances of fighting or combat sports, and you're like, oh yeah, no, there's a science to this, and I see it and I feel it, and then you get
There's
a little
levels to it.
There's levels to it, and you can find the excitement. It's like you're looking, backstage, kind of behind a play, and seeing the inner workings of like, oh wow, that's how he does that. That's awesome. And we've been able to elaborate on that and break some of this stuff down and be able to share that with you, but you were able to experience that on your own, just on like a raw feeling of it. So when you came to us, we were able to kind of like put some of these pieces in place, and you're like, oh yeah, just captured a little bit more of that interest.
Yeah.
Not to mention, again, the community aspect. It's one thing when because I've been an independent fighter as well, where you're showing up to events by yourself and you're there with maybe just your corner or something, and and even when you win, it's like, yeah, it's great, it's for you, but it's a little different when you're winning and you're celebrating with your team.
It is.
And you're not just elevating yourself, but you're elevating people around you.
Exactly, every time.
There is something about coming back into the gym after competing at a Street Beefs event, and then we all watch our fights, and everybody, gets to give you congratulations and see what you've done, and everybody's proud of you for what you do.
Yeah, the next day, the Sunday, or even come in on like the Monday night, and we have the TV in here, and we'll just throw on usually it's Monday nights, because then we have like the
more people
early access that we can throw on in here, and we can all watch the matches we did the day before.
Yeah.
And I think that's great, because we get to celebrate with our team.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
that's what this is about.
That's exactly. That is exactly what it's about. We're building a program to where we can, again, bring like-minded individuals together that share a passion for what it is we do.
Exactly.
And go out there and support each other.
Exactly. Always support.
And it's been amazing. It's been great. Getting back to some of the Street Beef stuff, so what would you say would be one of your toughest opponents so far?
Oh, man.
I mean, 17 matches is a lot of matches. I'm sure you've had some memorable moments.
Yeah, I think I got 3 in my mind right now. The first one's El Maniaco. I fought him for the 170 boxing title way back when. I think I was 3-1, and I fought him for the boxing title. He was good. He's a Mexican style fighter.
A lot of pressure. Just got in.
Yeah, exactly. Throws good uppercuts. And he was getting me with that uppercut. TKO'd me in the second round, but it was tough. And like I came out in the second round and knocked him down. I felt like that made me want to do it even more. Every success I have, I take that as something good. Even if I lose the fight or something bad happens or whatever.
Lessons
Those
learned.
little successes, And then the second one was 2 fights. It's Crazy Legs. Crazy Legs, tough guy. I don't care. Like, go
shout
get
out
in
to
there.
Crazy Legs. What's up, buddy?
Yeah.
Go get in there. Go get in there with
meow,
him. He's got hands, and not just feet, but he's got hands, and he's good when he's on point. When he's fully on, he's good. He's a tough guy to fight.
Definitely.
And then of course this last one, Malik Ogun, man.
Yeah.
He hit you that first time.
Man.
Like,
he throws bombs, bro.
Yeah, turn your whole body sideways.
Yeah.
You're like, dang, I'm really in it. Like this guy could really hurt me
And
bad.
he's built like a little brick house
He
too.
is,
Like
yeah.
he's solid. I mean,
felt like you hit him and he don't move and don't do nothing to him.
100%.
He just keeps coming. He throws good hooks, and he had a better jab than I thought too. Shout out Ogun. I did not think you had a jab that good, so I took some jabs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
He has a lot of the attributes that you would expect from a high level boxer. You know, the speed and power, right? Speed and power, and he was throwing together good combinations as well.
Yeah, he
but
was.
It was a lot of it was just, I would say, setting up that powerful right hand, man.
He has
a bomb. He has a bomb right there. And we knew that. I mean, we weren't training for Malik Ogun going into that.
Definitely
going
weren't.
into that, but we felt you're at a point right now where you're ready for anybody within your weight class, right?
I needed to step up a little bit in that competition.
And that's what we're looking to do too. Is we're looking to take on these high higher level competitors because we're doing this USA amateur run.
Yes.
Come 2025, we're setting the foundation down so that we can really go and take a stab at this. I'm getting my USA boxing coaching stuff in order as well as my competitor stuff. And you already have your USA
I'm already
boxing
certified.
certification.
I'm part of the alumni association and all that stuff. So I'm ready. I'm ready to roll.
So we got a couple events we've already kind of mapped out for this coming year. And so we're going to still go and do the scrapyard stuff with definitely you'll see Dad there at the scrapyard, of course.
Coming.
I mean, he's born, what'd you say, born and raised.
I'm born and bred and raised in Scrapyard.
So it's never not going to be, within the scope of what it is we're doing. We're always going to go to the scrapyard. It's just we may end up having to, take a month off or whatever it is to go and do another event because as we all know, as amazing as the scrapyard is for us and as much as we love the community, unfortunately some of those matches, they don't count towards like an amateur record or your pro record or any of that, which who knows, the next couple of years, that could be totally different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With the way that they're growing for sure. But currently they're not, and we got to expand our horizon because we plan on, eventually going pro and
better things.
And taking a real shot at this and seeing what we can do. So in order to do that, we got to branch out.
Yes, we do.
But it's always nice to also have that family in our back pocket too.
Never
because
forget where you came from. Never forget where you started, man.
And that's what we've been able to do is we created, we have our core group, our team, and the people that are supporting us here from when we go to these events. And then we get to go to events like the scrapyard, and then it's like you got extended family. It's like seeing your cousins there. It's like hey, oh hey guys,
the scrapyard fam.
Your little scrapyard,
yeah,
100%. And we got tons of support there, and we try to do the same and support them and competitors that come out of there. We try to support them, and we have our door here at Columbia River Jiu-Jitsu always open to any of the scrapyard competitors. We love it. Yeah, we you guys always have a place to come train. And it's a safe environment to where, when you come through, we're not looking to injure anybody. We're looking to help, again, build you up. Because we want the success of the scrapyard as well. And their success means our success. And we want to help contribute to that because they've done a lot of great stuff for us.
They definitely have. That's for
you,
sure.
You for sure on your independently when you're a fighter. And, now as a team, they provide a lot of great advertisement, a lot of good competition, and we want to give back to them too. So we're just happy to be a part of it. And
me too.
Again, look at where we are now due to all that stuff. So it's been amazing. Kind of going over some of your we're not gonna do any fight reviews like we did with Chef in this match.
I don't look as pretty as Chef anyway.
It's it's strictly off of that. It's because he's a young, handsome man. That's why we're these old, rough-looking dudes now. We don't need to watch us.
Not me.
Yeah, not you.
I'm not old enough.
You're not old or rough or a dude. So there's that.
No.
You have all 3 strikes against you. So we're not talking about you. But we can talk about some of them. I mean, let's talk about what was it? Your first match after you came with us was with, I believe, Nightmare.
Yeah, Nightmare.
Right?
Yeah.
And
he had a lot of energy coming out in the first round. He had a lot of energy.
He did, and that was, I want to say, that was probably after about 3 weeks of training.
3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks.
Right. I trained with me about 3 weeks, which I know doesn't seem like a lot. But
it is in this gym, y'all.
We came up with a good, solid game plan because it was one-on-one training, so it's 3 weeks of private lessons with your coach. And we were able to get over we were able to fix some of the issues you're having right out the gate. Roughly pretty quick. One of the main things we're having a little issues with were some of the cardio.
Cardio for sure.
Issues.
Cardio.
And so that's what we focused on for, I want to say, for like the first 2 months. But we really broke into it hard coming out the gate. Those first 3 weeks.
We were hitting
the bike.
That thing is a killer. No,
that bike is a killer. we upped your minutes and your rounds to the 5 minutes.
Yep.
So we're doing 5-minute rounds with the bike on top of, the daily workouts that we added to you. Exactly. And that alone, within 3 weeks, when we started adding that to you, and then you went into your first match against Nightmare. I don't know if you remember this or not, but you ended up beating him in the second round. He wouldn't come out in the third.
He wouldn't come out in the third. No,
right?
He was out of energy.
And
man.
a lot of that was, you outran him.
Yep,
You were
exactly.
ready to keep going, and he wasn't.
Exactly.
And that's a big factor in a fight.
It is.
When, the guy could outpunch you, especially in a boxing match when the whole objective is to get as many hits as you can on your opponent.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hit
If you get
don't get hit.
outpunched, if you get outpunched and you don't got energy to punch back, it's a bad day for you.
Exactly.
And that ended up being the case. And so how was that going into that match? Because like you said, you were on a little bit of a losing streak.
Yeah, I was. I was on a fight losing streak, and I'm always looking at. I hate losing.
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't?
Exactly.
Hate
Who
losing?
doesn't hate losing? And so like. I was really nervous because I was finally in a gym and I felt like I really needed to step my game up, especially for you guys, just taking me in like that and training me. And I felt it. Like I was super nervous more than ever before that. So I felt like when I came out in the first round, I just needed to survive whatever he was going to give me and then work my game plan after that. And I survived that first flurry that he was doing, all that crazy punching. And then once that was over, he was done. He didn't have anything left after that.
And it's kind of like, did you have that that feeling of it, going in there into the second round, or like, okay, that first round he was throwing a lot of punches, you go out in the second round and he was throwing punches, but you can tell like he's waiting now.
Yep,
or like his punches don't have as much on him as they did before. And
he was definitely more hesitant in the second round. You could feel it. Like he was trying to save energy. He knew he was done. And so then I just pushed the pace. That's what we do here at Columbia River Jiu-Jitsu. We push the pace, always push the pace. And so that's what I'm trying to do. That's what won me that fight, is just keeping the pace the same all 3 rounds. It's going to be the same pace. Even if I'm tired or my arms hurt or I can't lift them or whatever, I'm coming forward. So you better be fighting. So.
And that's great, because that's some of the philosophy that we try to install here is make him beat you. You know what I mean? Like, we're not gonna try to quit on ourselves. We're not gonna quit on ourselves. We're not gonna hand over the match to you. Like, if you go up against us, you're gonna have to beat us, dude. And
I can always come back.
that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Come back.
Like, we're gonna fight you the whole fight, and there's gonna be no quitting, and you're gonna have to come and do that. Like, you're gonna have to put in work. And I think, because we keep that kind of philosophy, and it adds to our intensity, and it kind of gives our mentality just a level up sometimes when we go into these matches. It's just, we plan for a fight.
Yes.
We train for a fight. And so when we get into these exchanges or bangers, when we're out there and you're with someone like Maliko Goon, who hits hard, who's gonna fight you.
Too, he hits hard.
He's gonna fight you. But even though we ended up not getting the win on that one, you got a lot of respect because of what it is we do. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's the training, man. It's the training.
Yeah, because you can go and stand toe to toe with a 3-time champion who hits like a brick house. Like, okay, I understand that, but I'm still gonna stand here and I'm gonna fight you.
That's a pro right there. That's a pro right there.
I'm not gonna back down based off of your physical attributes or whatever it is you do. I train for this.
You're gonna have to come and get it. You're gonna have to take it from me. Because I'm there to win. I'm not there. I'll get beat up and still try to win.
I understand what a fight is. It's you hitting me and me hitting you. Like, that's what it is.
Sometimes you got to get hit to give a hit. You got to be willing to take those hits to keep pushing, going through and giving them, because you're going to take some. These fighters are too good out here. Everybody's too good. Once you get to a certain level, everybody's good. So you're going to get hit. It's about how you react and what you do with your game plan and how you change throughout the fight that gets you the win. Most fights go the distance these days. There's not as many knockouts as people think. Like, a lot of fights go the distance.
Well, I think a lot of that's due to the fact, like you said, everybody's getting better. Everybody's understanding and accepting the game. And some of those, you can really tell if you watch fights from, I don't know, let's say 20, 30 years ago. Like, yes, some of them seem like the intensity's higher. And that's true. Some of the intensity is higher because it is more, it's more raw. It's more brutal. You're not seeing some of the little nuances in the fighting where two fighters are such highly skilled individuals that they're cross-canceling, each other's attacks based off of positioning. because they're trained. They're so good now, you know. It's
Well, they
like
could see
everybody's
it. They could
everybody's
see
doing the same stuff now. Like
Yep,
it's,
exactly.
they're really narrowing this this martial arts, you know, they're really getting down to the nitty gritty. Like you're not seeing a whole bunch of style against style anymore. You're seeing just boxing, or you're seeing just kickboxing. It's not like before you can have kickbox, you can have like a kickboxer and a Muay Thai guy, and you can definitely tell the difference in the styles. Now you're seeing the combination of the two styles, and it's evolving into something new. And I would say the level of competition in terms of like skill is definitely at a higher level.
I think so
you
too.
know.
Yep.
And that's with all things though. As time goes on and people start getting more involved, it evolves.
Exactly.
And the scrapyard in general has evolved. I
Same
mean,
thing.
we're
There's
looking
a
at
lot
that
of
right
fighters
now.
out there. A lot of good fighters coming out there. We got amateurs, guys that should be pro, Maliko Goon.
Guys that are going pro.
You know, they're about to go pro. These guys, we got good competitors that come out there. You're not always fighting the level 1 guy off the couch who just wants to come fight and have a good time. So
No, we've got like Friday Night Fade that comes through
Friday
there
Night
too.
Fade, shout out them from California. They got pro level fighters that they bring out.
Especially these guys that are coming through and are being consistent.
Exactly.
Like I said, you're getting returning fighters.
Exactly.
And there's no better experience than just going out there and doing it.
Exactly.
So even these guys that are rolling off the couch or whatever, they may do that for their first 1 or 2 fights, and based off of where they're at, just off of their physical attributes, they can do okay. But the guys that are continuously going out there are realizing quick that like, oh no, like you did, I need to get into a gym.
You have to step
I
up.
can't just go and just show up and fight that day. I have to train and then go in there and fight.
Exactly.
And I think that's also something that the scrapyard has been able to do for some of these guys is allow them, give them that opportunity to see what it's like, and give them that opportunity to like grow as well. Like, hey, yeah, this is where you're at right now, but if you were to go against, let's say, a level 3 or level 4, you would see the disparity. Like, it's because that level
Definitely.
3 or level 4 is in a gym. They're training.
And it doesn't seem like that much of a level disparity when you're out there, when you're just standing around and you're talking to everybody. But when you get in there, a level 3 to a level 1, it's a big disparity.
It's a
Huge.
massive disparity.
And it's the ones that are getting in the gym and they're working every day and they're eating right and they're being healthy and they're doing what they're supposed to do. Those are the ones that are really getting.
You're watching them progress.
Exactly.
You
And
can
they
see
start-
them
they can
progress
start
with
out
every
from the
fight
level
they
1
do.
And they just work their way up.
I mean, that's where you're at. Coming to us was a level 1,
Yep.
and now you're going in level 2 or 3 now.
Yeah, I'm
easily
I'm
level 3. I
after
would say.
Ogun. Yep, that's
After
what it is.
Ogun,
Yep.
it's everybody now. It's anybody within your weight class that's coming through. You're
Yep.
level 3
you gotta
and
go
above.
through me.
now.
You
Yeah,
gotta go through me.
yeah, and
Wanna
that's
get to the title. You gotta fight me.
and that's exactly what we're trying to do because we want
Exactly.
that experience. You know, it's
Yeah.
not even about the wins and losses and titles. Like all that stuff is great. Don't get me wrong. We
is.
enjoy that
The
stuff.
experience, though.
Yeah,
The
it's-
experience of getting in there.
And it's always better to win than it is to lose. But yeah,
Sure.
ultimately it comes down to that experience.
As long
What
as
is
it's a
it we're
good
getting?
fight, man. Make it a
Well,
banger, and I'm good. I'm
well,
gonna have
win
a
or
good day.
lose, you're still going to see things. Ugh, that's what I need to be working on.
Exactly.
Oh, man, I left myself
That's what's
wide
good about
open
Street
there.
Beefs. It's on YouTube. You can go back and rewatch your tape over and over and
Over
again.
and
You fix
over.
those things that you can see you're doing wrong in an actual fight situation.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the best medicine right there.
And we get to do that too. We get to sit there and review. We have done that. Review some of the fights, and it's I think it's an amazing tool to have. What do we
always
got
doing it.
going on?
Well, hang on. I actually have a question. What all is involved with winning Fighter of the Year? Like, what all do you get with Fighter of the Year?
So he's gonna make a video which hasn't came out yet. He'll get to it. He's always doing a lot. Shout out
Fire
Fire
Chicken.
Chicken.
Fire
Always
Chicken is a
doing
busy
lot.
man.
Yep.
And so he'll come out with a video with clips of all my fights and probably a special song, one of the Scrapyard songs or something, a whole video dedicated just to me and Fighter of the Year. Then I get my name on the wall, which I gotta
Big
have.
thing.
You know, that's been
Yay.
one of my goals, so I get to get on there.
That's
and then I get a
awesome.
new pair of HKA boxing gloves. Shout out to HKA USA
Shout out to
boxing.
Shout out
HKA.
HKA. Yeah.
So I get those, and that's always good. I love new gloves. I always love new gloves. But the real goal was to get on the wall, and I'm on the wall. I'm up there
Heck
with the guys
yeah.
I should be up there with. I'm as good as all those guys on that wall, and I proved it. I'm gonna keep proving it. So come see me.
Congratulations
Yeah.
again.
Right? Exactly. That's what I've been working for.
What is that like for you too? Maybe you can touch on that a little bit because you have been going there for the last 3 years, so you do know some of these guys that are on this wall, and you are seeing those guys. So now to kind of be able to stand with them and talk with them. I mean, you know, some pretty what would you say, well-known competitors there at Scrapyard. You know, Viking Warrior, Flex,
Viking
Pappas, Solo, like all these guys know you. You know what I mean? Even Crazy Legs, we talked about them. Fire Chicken. I mean, we can go on and on.
On and on.
There's so many like high level, well-known competitors there that know who you are, and now you're on the wall with them. And what's that like for you?
That means a lot to me. Like when I came out here and you first get started and you see like your name could go on the wall, you got to get this many wins. There's all these good competitors. You're like, how am I ever going to get there? But that's one of the things you're working to when you go out there. You see that, it makes you pumped up. Like I got something to work toward. That's what I want to get. So to me, that was my first goal. Was I always want to get on the wall. I want to fight the guys that are on the wall. I want to be the guy that people are looking to fight. They come there and I want to fight D.A.D because he's one of the best out here. Like I fought La Rania, he's on the wall. Crazy Legs is on the wall.
Sup, Lorena, baby, what's up, bro?
And so that's the guys I want to fight. I would love to fight Viking Warrior. I'm not gonna lie, he's a little heavier than me, but those are the fights I want. I want those guys that are the best guys you can get because that's how I'm gonna get better. And I feel like I'm at that level. I know Viking Warrior's been out there a long time. Shout out my guy.
Do you have any I don't know, competitors that you're like a fan of yourself? I know you mentioned a couple. Like
I know that Viking Warrior is one of my favorite of all time. He's definitely like his boxing skills on another level.
Definitely,
I definitely try to pride my pressure on him. He's always punching, no matter what he's doing. He's throwing a punch.
Great
he's
cardio.
Doing something. Great cardio. Third round, he's still punching like he was in the first round. So him for sure. Solo for sure is another one of mine. I just love the guy. I can't. Every time I see him, he's always love. He's always hugging everybody, having a good time. Then he gets in there and head kicks some guy.
His
and you're
flexibility
like, oh my gosh.
is like
you know,
very unassuming.
it's mind blowing. You know, there's a lot of guys that came through that are good. There's this guy that fights. He hasn't fought in a while. His name's Matty Ice. He's a good MMA fighter. I really like watching him fight. Every time he fights, I just get excited. There's the guys that you go out there and you're watching. And
yeah,
like,
we can also be fans of. Not only just be. I think again, you know, not to, I don't know, sit here and praise the Scrapyard the whole podcast, but another great thing about it is that we can become fans of the competitors there and cheer them on.
Exactly.
As well as compete against them, you know.
I'm a fan too, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
that again is testament to what it is that they're also building there is a community that's trying to build people up, not just beat people down, which we've mentioned before. And they live by that is come out here, have a really tough match, get that experience. And then, you know, afterwards we can sit, we can bullshit, we
Eat
can
some tacos, take some pictures,
tacos,
you know.
Follow each other on the socials and then help support each other from afar. And then once a month we can get together and see where we're at, you know?
Yeah.
And that's wonderful. That's exactly, like I said, exactly what it is we're trying to do as well. And you know, they're just a little farther along than we are, and we know we'll get there. We're happy to be a part of it, and we're happy to you know, have those kind of allies.
Exactly.
I think it's really amazing to have an extended community because our gym is just a really solid hub of people. And I think that the Scrapyard just kind of is an extension of our solid community here in the gym. And it's always so much fun to go up there and see everybody.
Oh yeah, every time.
What would you say has been your toughest match? Let's just do this year. What has been your toughest match for you this year?
It was Ogun. I want to say Dynamic Duran.
Yeah.
Because he punches harder than people think. Like he might.
Oh yeah.
He's a tough competitor.
Guy. Yeah, he's tough. And so I want to say him, but Ogun was just he was different. Like
he's
feeling
different
it
level.
in there. It's a different level.
What was who's the most excited you're going against? Like
Crazy Legs.
Crazy Legs?
Yeah, Crazy. Like in that rematch, he beat me up in a dress, y'all. Okay, so just put that out there. He got dressed up as a maid and beat me up, and so I felt like I had to get that back on him. And I was just pumped. It's always fun to fight Crazy Legs. Like it's always a good fight. You're always throwing and bouncing around, and you're talking in there to each other.
Unorthodox,
like,
but very clean. Yeah,
exactly. It's always a fun fight. That's what I like. I want a good fight. If it's a good fight, win or lose, it don't matter. I want a good fight.
Yeah. What? How do you you know, react, or I guess not react, but how do you take on some of, let's say, the comments and some of the underneath some of the fights? You know, I know that we talk about it sometimes like, yeah, stay out of the comments. We don't have to, engage with that. But as we're people.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And you have
at least
you have
the three of us here. I think we all interact in our comments underneath our fights. I don't think everybody does because some of them are brutal. Some of them are brutal.
With the 17 matches, I mean, you have quite a few.
Yeah,
that's a lot of matches.
Yeah,
more than anybody on our competition team so far.
A lot of views for sure.
And a lot of views. So, and prior to this year, you were on that 8-fight losing streak, you said.
Definitely.
So how did you handle taking on some of those comments? What do you have to say to some? I guess what do you have to say to some of your haters?
Well,
and stuff
those
that?
comments they used to get me with those comments. Used to get to me, but it just motivated me. You guys just made me better. So keep on talking all the shit.
Keep talking,
you
guys. I love it.
Because it just makes me better. It just makes it like I'm like, oh, you pointed out that I got jabbed in the face 50 times. Thanks, I appreciate you. Now I'm not gonna do it again. But they used to get. Now I get in there and I'd mess with them. Like I joke around with something. It's just fun for me now because I know where I'm at. If you see me in the yard,
I like to invite them out to the scrapyard.
Yeah, like that.
Okay,
I do
well
that
then
every
come
time.
show me.
Exactly. I'm like, come and see. If you don't think I got power or speed or you don't think I'm that good, come see. Sign up on Facebook. I don't care about weight. Come see me. You can find out if I got power or speed yourself.
How many of those people have come through?
None.
Yep. Same.
Absolutely none.
Trolls are funny.
Same.
They're funny. Like
Exactly. And sometimes when you first say something to them, then they just back off. They're like, oh, no, I didn't mean nothing.
You're
by
a real
it,
person.
You know, I have found that sometimes when I've interacted with people that like haters that are trolling in the comments, and then you interact with them or joke around with them or something, and then they turn around and then they're your fans.
Yeah, they're like, no, like that just happened today on my new fight. There's a guy named, I forget his name now, but he was saying something messed up.
Starts with an S.
Yeah.
I know. You're talking about.
Yeah.
And I said something back to him, and then he was like, no, I'm rooting for you. I just
didn't think you were going to talk to me.
He was like, he didn't think I was going to say anything, but
they didn't. I think it's a surprise that people don't expect you to interact with them in the comments. They're watching something on TV. Like essentially, you're kind of a celebrity to them. They don't expect you to get in there and talk.
And there
back.
are a lot of like what do you call those couch quarterbacks? Like it's easy, because from a hindsight or even watching it on
an outside perspective.
You can see everything because you have the advantage of being able to do that. It's different when it's coming right at your face.
Yeah. When he's throwing those big hooks at you, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, and it's happening live in front of you. It's way different. But again, they would never know that because a lot of these people that do comment on some of those fight videos and that they've never stepped into the any kind of ring themselves.
No,
like you're
definitely not.
You're a couch quarterback, or maybe you have done some martial arts, but you never competed before. And I can guarantee you, buddy, once you start competing, it'll change your martial arts. It'll change how you train. It'll change your perspective on some techniques. And it'll change even your mentality on how you approach your training and how you would approach defending yourself. Because you have a more realistic understanding of what it is to be in a chaotic situation like that.
I think it gives you a greater respect for the people that are stepping into the ring. I think that does change a lot, that you may see it from the outside perspective and think, oh, I wouldn't have done that. Well, maybe not. It gives you a lot of respect for how much stress it is to step into that situation.
And it really shows you how you handle duress, you know? And like I said, everybody has an idea of it. Everybody's like, I know what I'll do. Just like Mike Tyson said, though, everybody has a plan until they get hit in the face. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh,
what do I do now?
What do I do? Or what do I do when I hit this guy and he doesn't go out like I think
That's my number one thing is what do I do when I hit him as hard as I can hit him and he's still coming at me?
So let's kind of touch on that a little. Did you have any prior experience with like fights before the scrapyard?
No, I never even really got into like a street fight or anything. Like I always loved fighting. Like I've been watching it since I watched Mike Tyson fight this Hawaiian guy back in the day that I paid $70 for on my TV and got in trouble with my mom and everything. I've been watching fighting forever. So it's
he knocked him out in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was like 30 seconds. Yeah, it was a big waste of money.
Yeah, I remember those Tyson fights.
And I've always loved the game. Yeah. It's some, and sports in general, like competition, that's what it is for me. Like always something to work towards, something to try to get, something to try to reach. And so competition in general, but fighting, I don't know. It sucks me in. I mean, I still watch all the UFC events.
Do you feel like you had any misconceptions of what it is you can do prior to going into your first match? Right? Isn't
I thought
that
I was
funny?
bad. He thought he was bad. Yeah.
Right?
I thought I was bad, but no, I was not bad. I had a lot of work to do. But I wanted to prove to everybody that I could do that. I was always a guy talking shit when I was a kid. Like, I could do it. I bet you I could do that. I bet you I could do it.
Isn't that a funny, like, white belt mentality?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly,
isn't it?
yeah.
And as now that you're experienced, you know,
Exactly.
like, you can kind of see it with some of these guys new that are coming in. You see the level of arrogance. I mean,
Yep.
you definitely see it at the scrapyard
You
when you get
definitely
these
see it there.
these new
ego.
fighters that have never fought before that are going in there like, oh yeah, no, I can do that. Oh, I don't care. Sign me up with whoever or whatever. And
Yeah.
they're like, okay, buddy. Or some of these guys, you know, sign me up for MMA, and you're like, well, do you have any?
What's your training?
Yeah, what's your training? Oh no, I can fight. I'm
Yeah,
good,
I
bro.
can
I'm
fight.
good. And then all of a sudden,
Where do you train?
Yeah,
Oh wait, I don't train.
And
Oh.
it's not to knock on anybody.
No, it's not.
At
No.
all. Understand this. It's not that.
It's a normal mentality.
It's just funny from people that are experienced to now look back on that, because you can see a little bit of your arrogance in that from when you can remember back when you were that. You're like,
Exactly.
yeah, I used to think that
Totally.
way too. And then I get into it. And now you're like, oh no, this is a
And I always be
broad
telling guys that when I'm
field.
talking to
Yeah.
them at the scrapyard. It's like, it's different. You know, you think come in here and you think you're something, but you're not. That's something that you're thinking you are. There's
Yeah.
people that train every day just to beat you up.
Yeah.
That's
And,
it.
You know, it's a different level when you're
They
thinking
train
like that.
every day to beat you up, and they
Yep.
don't act like you. That should tell you something right there.
Exactly,
Like,
yep.
why is this guy such a crazy badass, but he's super humble and super nice? What is that about? Well, it's probably because that guy's had his ass kicked more times than you can even count,
Exactly.
bro.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's why he's at the level he is. But that's
Exactly.
also why he is the way that he is, you know? And I think that too is like that invisible bit of like information you don't get unless you've been in the game for a while.
Exactly, yep.
Because then you
Yeah.
can look back, and that's also some of the humbling thing where you can be like, you know, you can laugh at some of
Yep.
these loud pups. It's like,
Exactly.
hey, this barking pup.
Because I
over
was one of
here.
those
Yeah.
guys. I was talking
Yeah.
all the shit. I thought I was a man. But you just realize that you're not. And you just got to take that and be like, well, I'm going to become the man.
Yeah.
Well,
there's-
yeah, you realize what your level is, and then you work on it.
And you start to have that understanding of like what confidence is and what arrogance is.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's good to have a little bit of both, but it's good to have a little bit of both.
A little bit of
You know what I
it.
mean? Like, yeah, it's okay to be a little bit arrogant. It's okay to be a little bit confident, but you don't want to be overly confident. You don't want to be overly arrogant. It's finding, again, that yin and yang in everything, that
Exactly.
nice balance,
Yep.
which is, you know, something that we've been exploring
Yes, definitely.
throughout our training. It's not just been a skill set that we're learning, right? We also expand on, you know, like a way of life.
I feel like it's a
guess.
lifestyle
Like it's
that
a
It is a
lifestyle
lifestyle.
that we try to live, that encompasses our training. That encompasses the competition. Even the way we've been
Exactly.
viewing competition isn't
Yeah.
for just glory. It's so that we can just improve and better ourselves.
Exactly.
Because this activity, what we decide that we want to invest our time in, it makes us better as people. It makes us feel better as individuals, and it helps us expand on you know, what we can give back to the world.
Exactly.
And that's a big thing too, is we've been able to share by going and putting your feet in the fire. You can now pass on your experiences, your knowledge, and your understanding of fighting or boxing or martial arts to now the guys that come in here. And you've been able to do that.
I already do it all the time. I'll
Yeah.
catch myself like telling them, stopping and sparring, and be like, hey, do this. You can do this when this is happening. And it's just from being in there all the time. and
Yeah.
seeing
Because
it.
I've made that mistake that
Yeah,
you're
I've
doing,
done it.
bro.
Yep.
So
And
many
this is how
times.
you correct that mistake.
Exactly,
And
yep.
that's all experiences is, hey, bro, I've already made that mistake. Or you're viewing something they're doing and you're seeing the mistake because you have experience, because you've done something similar or whatever it is.
Yep.
But now that you're at a point where you've been doing this a while, you're like, oh, these guys that are coming in that haven't been doing this as long, I can help them.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
show them.
And
I
that
can
gives
teach them
you
things.
something
Yeah,
too,
Exactly,
yeah.
yeah.
And that's kind of the
Hugely valuable.
I love
Yeah.
doing it too. I love doing it. It's fun for me.
And did
time I
you
can
kind
get
of anticipate that prior?
No, I didn't. I always thought I was the fighter. I'm the worker bee. Mm-hmm. Even in my real life, like that's what I do. I'm the worker bee. I'm the guy who puts his head down and puts in all the work and does everything he's supposed to do. But I never dreamed I would be teaching somebody else how to do something.
It gives you. It's weird when you start coaching or teaching. Even though you're giving something away, it's weird what you get in return for doing that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing is what I get in return. It feels good to do that. Like
Yeah.
every time I help
It
him,
does.
and then he does what I tell him, and I'm like, oh dang.
Yeah, it works,
Yeah,
right?
like-
There we go. Because
Yeah.
again, by you taking that advice and then that working for you, it's like, yeah, it's a representation of me as well. It's like you're buying into you're buying into the philosophy I gave you. So you trusted me and it worked.
Yep.
So there's that like, oh yeah, see it does
Yeah,
work.
see?
That's great. So I understand that completely. I'm getting a lot of that too, considering this is like my first year of being like the head coach of a competition team.
Yeah.
I've always helped like as an assistant coach or stuff like that to take
I didn't
on
know
the
that.
role.
This is your first
This
year.
is his
Yeah.
first year.
Of being a full-on
Come on
head
in,
coach.
y'all.
I
You
know.
know?
What's up, you guys? Prior to this, I did coach before. I was an instructor and stuff like that. I've done instruction, but I was always underneath the head instructor of the program. So, but taking on this, I mean, even though Chris is still the owner of the gym, he kind of handed over the competition team and the head coaching position for that stuff to me, and allows me to do that. It's just been great to be able to put together these programs and put together these individuals to set them up for some of the success that we've been having.
Yeah, I mean, how does it feel when you corner for for Mathew? Because you've been in Matthew's corner for all of his last fights. How does it feel?
Yeah, I feel it's
as his
been
corner?
great. Honestly, like it's been such a wonderful experience for me to be able to corner you, because it does also provide for me learning experience. It does kind of solidify some of the knowledge that I have, because it does make sense. What it is I'm telling you and what it is we're training does make sense. It is practical, and in usage it's being effective.
It works.
Yeah.
So the methods we've been working on, the concepts that we train and the techniques that we drill all have been effective, and we've been able to utilize that in competition. And I've been able to utilize those things as a competitor myself, and I've used those concepts and all those same things in my real life when I was insecurity and I was bouncing for like 12 years, and they've got me out of a lot of situations. So being able to pass that stuff down on to you guys and then watch you guys have success with it, it is a great feeling for me. And it really does, solidify some of the knowledge that I feel I've acquired over the last 24 years of my martial art journey. Because I started when I was 12, so
It works. Man.
I feel such a deep sense of pride, win or lose, watching my teammates compete. I do feel such a sense of pride because, we worked on that in the gym. And that's working. Like
Exactly.
it does feel good to
And all
to
of
be
our
there to
team, all of
support
our
all
teammates
of
that
them.
have competed, every time I watch,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, we were doing that. We were just doing that. He hit me with that the other day.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's such good.
You caught me
work.
in that one. That was a good one.
Putting in such good work in this gym. Such
Yeah.
good work.
and I
everybody.
have such a pride for. It's funny you brought up the pride thing. I have such a pride for not the wins and losses, man. Because don't get me wrong, I always want to be on the winning side because it's always better to win. But sometimes those lessons are needed, and I also find the a positive thing out of those lessons learned. But what I can say I have the most pride in is every one of our competitors, like I said, takes that mentality on of you're gonna have to fight us. We're not gonna go in there and be a punching bag.
No.
We're gonna go out there and we're going to compete against you. We're gonna fight. And just again from a corner standpoint, since I can't be in there with you, seeing you go out there and stand your ground and take the fight to them and do what you can do, like that always gives me pride, because you're putting yourself in the best possible position to have the most success.
Exactly.
I love to watch the game plan. because there is a game plan before every fight that we step into. There is a plan, and then to watch the plan be executed, win or lose, watch the plan be executed, and you do see success in the plan.
Stick to the game plan, man.
Yeah.
You have to change it mid-fight. You could do that, but stick to the game plan. The game plan's good.
Game plan. How was that for you? Because I know prior to us training together, there wasn't much of a game plan, right?
No, I just kind of showed up and went in there.
Go in
It was
there
time
and
to
hit
fight.
'em.
It was time to fight.
Yeah,
you know?
but we've been
having a game plan and like doing that extra stuff before the fight, like sparring a little bit. Like I sparred Short Temper in the cage. Shout out Short Temper. And like doing all those things before the fight and having a game plan going in, having a clear head of what I'm trying to do and what I need to be doing to win the fight makes all the difference.
It does.
It takes part of the thinking away too, so I can just focus on being who I am as a fighter and executing that game plan. I don't got to worry about what he's doing.
It takes the guessing work out,
Exactly,
so you're not in the middle of the ring thinking, okay, what am I going to do now?
Yeah,
what am I going to do
worrying
next?
about him and trying to guess what I'm going to do next.
And that's a wonderful point there. It's at that point, once we have our game plan established, you're right. It doesn't matter what you're going to do because we're going to implement our will on you. Like, I'm going to take the fight to you. You're going to fight my fight. This is my plan, you know, and they may do some whatever and we have to make adjustments. But overall, that is our plan. We're going to dictate this. We're going to fight you and you're going to have to fight out of it.
Yep.
You know?
Exactly.
And that's what we do. We end up meeting fire with fire. And so far, you know, like I said, it's been really successful, and you know, it's changed your fighting style. It's definitely has surprised some people that you know, you fought previous. Just bringing out Crazy Legs again. I mean, he had some wonderful compliments for you after the match too. He was definitely surprised on what it is you've been doing, and you know, to compete against somebody a year prior. And that person, you know, take it to you.
Exactly.
And then you to come back a year later and then flip the script on them has really shown, you know, it's really testament to your dedication, the work you've been putting in, because, you know, it's not like Crazy Legs has gone down in skill level.
He's still
also
a competitor.
He's still
going
good,
up.
too.
He's still being active. He's still doing what he needs to do. So, you know, for you to go out there and do that, I mean, that's very impressive. That's really amazing. So we love that. We love that, you know, you're getting your recognition, that, you know, we've been able to make 2024 an amazing year for the gym, the competition team as individuals.
That's what I'm always worried about. I'm always worried about the gym. Like, I don't know why, but this team is the best team around. Don't forget.
We are.
Like,
Don't forget, we're the best team.
I'm telling you, like.
It's the community part of it.
It is.
It's the support. It's the friendship and the camaraderie outside of just what we do in the gym.
Exactly.
It's I mean, it's physically, yes, we, you know, you break us down, we spar, but it's the building back up. It's the, okay, well, yeah, you beat me up because there's a lot I need to work on, but also it's the being there for you outside of the gym stuff that is like huge.
Even
also.
just to like be somebody to talk to, like
yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
exactly.
This team is, we're
and
a real
that's
team.
what we want to
We're
have.
a real team.
Yeah. I don't want to just be a team on paper. I want us to be a team, across the board.
Exactly.
You know,
To have a high level of camaraderie and support and in genuine friendship across the board for all of each other, and respect, a lot of mutual respect too.
and we're seeing some of the beauty when we can do that. You know what I mean? Like you're seeing the benefits, I have the benefits. Collectively, we're seeing like, oh yeah, we can actually be there for each other, and it's nice to be able to go, and especially when we're going to chaotic events where it's like, hey, we're going and you could get hurt.
Yeah.
It's good to have people there that are like, yeah, I got your back.
Yeah,
So
they care about
It's
me.
okay,
you know?
bro.
It's okay.
It's okay. I got you, man.
Yep.
Even if it's just like, hey, bro, don't worry, I'll drive you home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's it. You know?
Those small things
little things.
mean a lot when you're going into those chaotic situations, because
Definitely.
it is those little things that matter.
It
is,
takes
you
a
know?
little bit
It
of the
is.
stress off of.
It does, yeah.
The intensity of the situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you get a higher intensity than physical altercations? I don't know. I don't know if you can. I mean, I'm sure there are.
Not that I've seen.
Yeah, but if you,
Not in
definitely.
day-to-day
Not in day to
life.
day, man.
No.
Definitely. So you definitely want to have people around for those situations, and it makes the lessons not as hard, and it makes the the wins even sweeter.
Sweeter.
Even sweeter when you can.
They are.
Yeah, look at your teammate and be like, look at what we did, guys.
Yeah,
It's not just what I did. It's like, look at what we did.
Yeah,
look at what we're doing.
Yeah.
I always
as well.
come back to the gym and I'm telling the guys, you did that to me in sparring, and then I was able to use it.
Exactly,
So
because
it's
it
always
is.
good.
It's what we do in the gym here, and what we learn from each other in the gym that we go and we take, and we test that in the ring.
Exactly.
And it isn't. It is. Yes, it's just you in the ring, but it's everybody's help and all of the hours and the sparring and the repetition that you take with you.
Exactly.
That we all do to support each other when we all get in there.
And that's it right
It's
there.
huge.
Well, some final thoughts, guys. You got anything for us, Red Fox? Final thoughts?
Just looking forward to next year. Next year is
forward
gonna
to
be
2025.
fire.
Fire, yeah. I know we talked about some things yesterday. We're gonna kind of keep that under wraps for now. But we do have some plans for 2025.
Yeah.
What about you, Dad? You got any final
It's gonna be a big
thoughts,
year
man?
in 2025. That's what I'm so looking forward to it. This year is gonna be over. It's been a great year. It's gonna get even better.
It is going to get even better.
It is.
Yeah, we got some big things coming with that amateur run. Potential UK invasion for sure. We're still working on negotiations for all that. At the very least, we're going to be hitting the scrapyard. You're going to see us on YouTube doing more competitions. Scrapyard's Fighter of the Year 2024 is going to be
baby,
there.
tune in.
Yes.
He's going to be there in 2025 too. So expect to see that. If there's any sponsors out there watching the show, we're looking for sponsors. Sponsorship packages are always in the description below. We'll have Dad's social medias on there. Please follow him. Follow Red Fox. We'll have all the social medias down in the description, as well as the sponsorship packages. Do we have anything you want to shout out your sponsors? You always have sponsors.
Yeah, Creative Mushrooms.
Creative Mushrooms.
That's my brother's business. You got to check that out. You just search up Creative Mushrooms. He's on Facebook. You can just go on Google and search him up.
Amazing stuff with that, by the way.
He's got the whole grow kits and all that together. It's an amazing thing. You definitely got to check that out for sure.
Also, check out Dad's shop.
Yes, dadshouseor.com. You just type that in. It's Shopify. We got all kinds of stuff on there. I'm also on TikTok Shop. You can check that out. All the socials will be in the description. You can find that. You can find that on TikTok. I'm everywhere. I'm always doing something. I'm always on the grind. So
Always
just
on
look
that
for me.
grind.
I'm there.
Not on Grinder, but always on that grind. You know what I mean? All right. So, please check that stuff out. We appreciate everybody that likes the likes and subscribes to the channel. Please share this stuff. Again, we enjoyed having the 2024 Scrapyard Fighter of the Year.
Fighter of the Year. Dad.
Matthew Taylor over here with us, now joining the F.A.W.B podcast. He's been on the Columbia River Jiu-Jitsu gym. He's been in the Columbia River Jiu-Jitsu gym. He's on the Reptilian Top team.
Yep.
We plan to put out, some competition videos, maybe some cool little edits we've been playing with lately. So stay tuned for that, guys. And thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Bye.
And when I say I'm gonna do something, I do it. I don't give a damn what you think. I'm doing this for me. So the world feed it.